Hey guys, welcome to Chump Blockers. I'm Alex and I'm joined by...
Noah Platts.
P-Lat. Noah Platt. We're here to look at the greens. We're at the last mono part of the spoilers.
Yeah, then we're going to go multicoloured artifacts lands.
A lot of really good greens though.
Oh, there is.
I'm really looking forward to looking through these. So let's jump straight in there as we always
Mega
do.
Bear!
With Crack Bear.
He is on crack. Alpine Grizzly.
So it's a 3. 3 mana for a 4/2.
That's it. It's good.
It's slightly, but depending on your outlook, it's it's the next increase from a bear. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna make it in limited really well. It's
yeah.
Really good limited card. Standard no way because it's just vanilla and not fantastic for the mana cost. But in sealed and draft, it's very good.
Well, two twos for 2s make it, so a 4/2 for 3 should.
Yes.
Archer's Parapet is 1 and a green for a creature, a wall. So it's got Defender and pay 1 black and a tap. Each opponent loses 1 life.
It's bad.
Yeah,
but it's one of the better defenders if you need a defender. And if you want something to sink mana into to make people lose 1 life,
yeah,
sure, go for Archer's Parapet. But it's not fantastic. Let's just move on.
Again, it's a defender that has to tap to do its ability, which is pretty counterintuitive.
Yeah, I don't really like these.
So, what's the next card?
We've got Awaken the Bear with some really badass artwork.
Yeah, it really does.
2 and 1 green for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 and trample until the end of turn. We've seen variants on this all the time.
Yeah, so it's like a bit of a giant growth.
Yeah.
But costed higher, but gives you trample. So.
Yeah, so it's fine. I mean, it's not amazing. It'll be seen in limited because it's a decent pump spell, but not quite as good as the one we're going on to next.
Oh, baby.
Become Immense, and people are saying that this is going to be modern playable in Infect.
Yeah. So.
And no surprise. For 5 and 1 green, at instant speed, we've got Delve again. Target creature gets +6/+6 until the end of turn.
I mean, that is really good.
It's really good. I mean, it's good in this limited environment. I don't know about standard again with Delve, it depends, but green decks don't tend to run pump stuff anyway.
F&M, Titanic Growth sees play.
It does.
So
I played copies of Titanic Growth on side.
F&M, this will see play.
Yep.
I mean, 6/6 is possibly good enough to make it in some decks.
Yeah, as a 1 or a 2 of with a Delve, I think it's fine.
6/6 is a lot.
But but with Infect, I mean...
Oh, with Infect,
I think this is really
practically game-winning.
Oh, yeah. At that point in the game, when you will have cards in the graveyard to delve this, I mean, that will be... Especially when they've declared their blockers and they've let 1 through for a 1 point of Infect, and then you go actually going to be taking 7 points of Infect.
Ouch.
It's game over, pretty much. So that probably will see play in modern Infect decks.
I think it's a very good card.
Yes.
So Dragon Scale Boon is an instant. It's
nice trick.
Yeah, it's 3 and a green. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature and untap it. So...
It's good. You get to make a blocker bigger if you need to, or you can just push your extra damage for next turn.
2 1/1 counters is cool as well.
Yeah. It allows you obviously to get those 1/1 synergies with giving things Death Touch or First Strike or Vigilance or Flying or whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. I like Dragon Scale Boon. I think it's a good card. Again,
it is a nice little trick.
Standard no.
Untap something and use it as a bigger blocker now.
Yeah. But yeah, standard no. Limited. It's a nice trick.
So Feed the Clan.
I hate this
People
card.
either love it or hate it.
It's rubbish.
A card that just gives you life, generally pretty bad. But it's 1 and a green to gain 5 life. It's ferocious.
Gains you 10.
It's ferocious sunlight and you get 10 life. So
what else do you want to say about it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Getting 10 life for 2 mana is on paper pretty good, but you wouldn't waste a slot in a deck with this ability.
No. I'd much rather have a creature we're coming on to later on, which is we'll talk about soon. It's Heir of the Wilds, but I'd rather have that than
I'd
Feed the
much
Clan.
rather have this enchantment.
Oh my word!
Hardened Scales is a green for a rare enchantment. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters will be placed on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are placed on it instead. So whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on something, it gets an extra +1/+1 counter as well, which is awesome. This will see EDH play like you would not believe.
Yeah, this is really nice.
For 1
green mana, it's like, you know, it's into those powerful 1 mana green enchantments like Exploration.
Yeah.
It's not quite powerful as Exploration, but in the right deck it is. Giving things double +1/+1 counters is ridiculous. A lot of Garve EDH players, myself included, will be really happy to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play Garve anymore, but I mean, I can tell that this will be making waves in EDH. Probably not in any other formats. I can't, unless you're going very hard drafting on the 1/1 counters. I can't see Hardened Scales making it anywhere.
It'll see. I think some people might try it in mono green just to bump up the Genesis Hydra or whatever.
Maybe, but I mean, it just feels like a wasted spot where you could put a creature in mono green.
Yeah, no,
That's anything for me.
absolutely.
But I mean, maybe someone might try F&M. Who knows?
I mean, for a similar effect, I mean, obviously a lot more expensive, but Corpse Shack Menace never really made it anywhere.
Doubling
and that
season
doubled
did,
it. Yeah, well,
but
right,
obviously.
Heir of the Wilds is 1 and a green for a 2/2 with Death Touch.
Ridiculously good.
Ferocious when online with 4 or greater. Heir of the Wilds gets +1/+1 till end of turn,
So whenever you attack with this guy, it might be a 3/3 Death Toucher for 2 mana.
which is pretty good.
Heir of the Wilds, I've got a feeling could see standard play a little bit somewhere.
Yes.
I think it's good enough to make it. It's a bear that it's a Death Touch bear that gets better.
Yeah.
Just for playing the game and having bigger creatures, and that's what green does. I think it's pretty decent.
It's pretty good. Highland Game, however, is shit. It's,
Yes.
It's that stupid boar from M14, the one that gains your life when it dies. It's 1 and a green for a 2/1. When it dies, you gain 2 life. Pooh. Oh, but onto the next.
Onto
card.
this card, which I'm really excited, and
Love
I
it.
really hope I get one of these because I have a Snake EDH deck, which we will be going over soon on the channel, and this will be amazing in it. We have an X and double green for a 0/0. Hooded Hydra enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it, and when it dies, put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield for each 1/1 counter on it. And it has Morph 3 and 2 green, and when it's turned face up, put 5 1/1 counters on it. So basically, you're just going to be wanting to play it for its Morph cost.
Yeah, so if that was sort of like seemed confusing.
Yes, because there's a lot of text.
Yeah, generally the idea being that it is better value for you to morph this.
Morph it down for 3.
Rather than hardcast it. You'll get better value out of it.
So you pay 3 to have it as a 2/2, and then on turn 5 or sooner in mono green, or just any deck running green really.
Or if you pump the absolute bollocks off it,
Then
just
yes.
hardcast it.
Yeah,
Like,
if you have the mana to pump it in like a green devotion thing, then do. But I mean, if you're not playing that green devotion build, playing this on turn 5 and having a 5/5 that can split into 5 1/1s is really, really good.
I think people will play this in mono green.
I do agree.
It's good simply because when it dies, it doesn't really die. It just spreads its power toughness out across however many.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
It's a very good card, deservingly a mythic.
Yes, and we'll see play somewhere at an F&N table. We'll have to see about standard.
Well, we'll have to see how mono green does.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really does hinge on how good mono green is post-rotation. But, I mean, fantastic in limited, let's not make it wrong. And so is this one coming up. This is an absolute all-star in limited.
I'm going to have to ask you to do a hooting mandrill noise.
Hooting mandrills.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
It's 5 and a green.
5 and a green, so a 6 mana 4/4 trample. We've actually seen 6 mana 4/4 tramples make it in limited before, believe it or not. But this one has Delve, so you can get this out for potentially 1 green.
And quite often 1 green, I would guess.
Yeah, this thing is fantastic. At common, I would have expected this at uncommon.
Yeah.
I really would. The art's really cool. It's an awesome card. This is a snap pick.
It's awesome.
I would first pick this if the rare wasn't good.
If
the rare isn't good enough to pick, and there's not like some crazy removal spell like the Black Delve removal spell, I would go Hooting Mandrills because it is just huge for the mana cost. It will be most of the time you're playing this for 3 mana or 4 mana for a 4/4 trample. In limited, that's ridiculous. Standard, maybe. Who knows? It could be a really cheap 4/4 trampler.
If like Kurd Chieftain didn't make it, or what's the gorilla with the regenerate that's out at the moment? I mean, but that didn't have Delve.
No, exactly. That's the thing.
I
mean, who knows?
Who knows?
I quite like it though.
Who knows? I was trying to make a pun
absolute
there. Prick.
Yeah.
Cone of counters, mate.
Oh, I like that. Incremental
growth.
Really cool.
3 green for a sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature, 2 1/1 counters on another target creature, and 3 1/1 counters on a third target creature. So this is kind of like a vertical cycle that's been going on for years, which is cone of something. Cone of X. So we've had cone of flame.
Yep.
We've had cone of creatures in Bestial Menace.
Yes.
And now we've got a cone of counters in incremental growth. So
it's a really cool card. Limited wise, this is
awesome. Think about. Mono green has absolutely no problem with mana at all. So 5 mana for this isn't a big deal, but I don't think its ability is good enough for it to... It's not going to make enough difference in mono green for it to get played in mono green.
No.
Because, something's going to get 3 1/1 counters, but everything's already enormous anyway.
Yeah.
That extra 3, you know what I'm saying.
I do actually quite like this in my green-white heroic deck, though.
Oh, yeah.
Putting your 3 counters on a Fabled hero
Yes.
is pretty nuts. And then it also gets the 1 counter stuff, because this spell does target something. It's not like you're just putting a counter. It's not like a creature's saying, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It's a spell doing it, so it will trigger the heroic.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be huge. I might play 1 or 2 copies in that deck. Who knows? But, I mean, that's FNM. Top table, no. Sealed, FNM, and draft, probably yes. Not probably, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Kintree Warden.
What is this? What is this creature? What is the point?
It's a 1/1 for 1.
Why?
It's
so confusing.
2
Why?
colourless to regenerate it, and its morph cost is 1.
Why would you pay 3 for a 2/2, morphing it into a 1/1
to regenerate
that can regenerate?
It's
just bad.
It's really shit.
It's if you need a 1-drop in limited, then yeah, play it. But it's terrible. Move on.
Never morph it.
Oh god, terrible. God.
Yeah. Okay, Long Shot Squad.
That's pretty good.
3 and a green. With Outlast. Outlast cost is 1 and a green. And each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has reach.
Good in green because you don't have the flyers a lot of the time.
There's really not a lot of reach creatures in this set.
There's
either.
not, and that's why this could be quite decent.
Yeah.
If you can get counters on it another way, or get counters on other things, for example, with the incremental growth, then having all your creatures and bigger creatures then with the incremental growth to have reach is decent. I think Long Shot Squad's really nice for green because you're going to be struggling with flyers a lot of the time. So
I think this would be better if it also just had reach.
Yeah, but I mean, none of the other creatures do.
No, none of the other sides.
But it gives itself reach if it needs to.
Yes. Meandering Tower Shell.
You love this guy.
Yeah, I love the flavour of it, and he looks like a cute little turtle. Well, he's not
little.
He's little. He's absolutely gargantuan, but he's so cute.
I mean, his body is huge. 5'9".
5'9" for 5.
With Island Walk, which could be really relevant.
Be really relevant. Possible sideboard in Standard.
Yeah.
Just for that, because it's what the Hydra, the
Miscutter
Hydra sees sideboard play
pretty
specifically
much, yeah.
just because it's blue
never
hate.
Sees main board.
Blame blue.
But this thing is really weird. When it attacks, you exile it, and then return it to the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking at the beginning of your declare attacker's step on the next turn.
So the general idea is you attack, it goes away for a turn, comes back next turn, and does its damage. The flavour of it being that you're like, hey turtle, go and attack, and he's like, okay. But
then he's meandering, so he just wanders away, and you're like, hey! Screaming at him, throwing rocks, and he just goes, oh, sorry, boss. And he turns around and sort of stomps towards them. I think this guy's really cool. I think you're right, he could see sideboard play.
And also, he blocks for days, mate.
He blocks for days.
Oh my god, in Limited. Oh,
yeah, Limited, it's nuts. He adds Devotion as well for green Devotion decks, which I think is quite cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yes, he's slow as hell, but...
That's a turtle for you.
Yeah. So, Naturalize reprint.
With awesome artwork.
Yeah, 1 under green, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
You know it. It can sometimes see sideboard play, but people play Reclamation Sage now, which is better.
Yeah.
But...
it has literally just been reprinted in M15 as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. But, I mean, this is just one of those cards they do print just mainly for limited purposes, and it will be used there. There we go.
So, going on to our next card.
Pine Walker. A 5-cost 5/5 with Morph 5, but with just 1 less green. And whenever Pine Walker or another creature you control is turned face up, untap that creature.
So this creates a kind of interesting paradigm schism where you attack
with your morph creature.
You attack with the morph and then untap it, and then it turn it face up, and then it untaps. But that's kind of like, it's a bit of a one-trick pony, but it does offer other morph creatures the same ability when this is
that's
untapped.
Interesting. And also, it's the morph cost is the same as the casting cost, bar the 1 green. It's a 5/5, which is a nice body. So limited, you probably see play just for that.
Yeah, I don't think this is the most awesome. It's definitely not the best morph ability we've seen.
It's not exciting, but it may sometimes do something.
It's kind of practical. It's like the shittest version of Vigilance you could possibly imagine.
Oh yeah, it's terrible Vigilance, but it's a 5/5 for 5.
Yeah, which is always good. Now, Rattleclaw Mystic has made waves so far.
It has.
It's a 1 and a green for a 2/1, with the ability of tap, add green, blue, or red to your mana pool. which is great. It's like it's like a step above an Elvish Mystic, but obviously costs a little bit more. Now its morph cost is 2 colourless, and when it's turned face up, you add green, blue, red to your mana pool. It's just great.
It really is good. It will see standard play.
It offers you mana fixing like you wouldn't believe.
It will see standard play because it is. You'll probably play it as a morph creature so a lot of the time. Turn it face up, add that mana, and then you can also obviously because of not having spell sickness can also tap it for the for the added colours as well. So this is potentially giving you 4 mana in one go.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need an early fixer, it can be used there. If you need late game mana, this can be used there.
As far as 2-drop dorks in green go,
it's pretty high up.
Well, it's not going to replace Sylvan Caryatid, is what I was going to say.
No, it's not going to. It's not going to replace Caryatid, but it's pretty high up on the pecking order.
Yes.
I mean, I think it will see standard play somewhere because obviously people will want to be playing those colours.
Yes.
Because those colours together are very powerful. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a clan.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like it. I think it will see standard play. I don't know.
It's just a really good mana fixer.
It is. It just works, and it excels you past early game into late game instead of having to go through the stages of early game, mid game, late game, very late game. Yeah. It gets you quicker to that end point.
So, Roar of Challenge is our next card. It's a 2 and a green for a sorcery. All creatures able to block target creature this turn do so, and it's with Ferocious is online, then that creature is also indestructible.
It's a lore variant, but it also gives that creature indestructible, basically, and that's a really nice blowout. If you can get it on a big creature as well, that's...
Or something with Death Touch.
Yeah, I mean, or you can have a lot of creatures, pop that on it and get through for a lot of damage and just have that one creature having to be blocked. Because everything has to block that creature.
That's the other obvious implication of this is if you flooded the board, have everything just target a 1/1 and let all your other big stuff through, so... Pretty versatile card.
I'm even thinking about putting this in sideboard for my mono green deck.
It could be standard playable. It's a surprise finisher. Unfortunately, it's a sorcery, but when else would you want to play it?
I mean, you want to play it before your attack, obviously.
Well, clearly.
But I mean, I'm genuinely thinking about this in my mono green deck because it just allows me to go. That Elvish Mystic is now not just a simple mana dork late game. I can just make everything block that, and I get through my Terra Stomper, my Polukranos, my Nylea. So Roar of Challenge, I think, probably will see some play at FNMs in green decks. I mean, that's what my deck is. It's not tier 1 at all by any standard, but it does well at FNM, and I think Roar of Challenge can make it do even better. So I think in Limited it's decent as well.
So, Sagu, I believe that's how it's spelled.
Sagu, I don't know.
Sagu. Archer is a 4 and a green for a 2/5 reach morph.
Sure. If they attack with a flyer, you can turn the morph up and reach and block it.
And blocking it's pretty much all you're going to do.
Yeah. It's not fantastic.
It's
basically a spider.
It blocks favourably against the Phoenix.
And also the White Mythic.
Yeah.
Which tells you how bad that White Mythic is. If it can be blocked by... Is this a common?
Yep.
Yeah, the common 2/5 spider variant on a horse. Let's move on.
Oh, this is the one.
Savage. Bear Punch. Savage Punch. Target creature you control. Fights target creature you don't control. And Ferocious triggers. The creature you control gets +2/+2. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
So you can pump your creature up if you've got the Ferocious going to even bigger.
Yeah. And
then fight something as well. It's pretty much going to be removal for green. Possibly again sideboard.
This is kind of the only removal that green ever sees. But...
Yeah, I mean they've got Cetessan Tactics, which is great.
Yes.
Gives it +1/+1, and you can strive it. That's the premium green removal at the moment.
Absolutely.
I play four copies of my mono green, and you'd be surprised at how many people go, okay, that card's mental. After you play with it, it's very, very good. Savage Punch is fairly decent, and probably will see sideboard play in mono green.
Yeah, awesome.
But it's fantastic in Limited. Absolutely mental.
Scout the Borders is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. So there's quite a lot of this already in Standard.
Yeah.
You've got your Satyr Wayfinder.
Yeah,
I believe
this is going to be in that sort of deck where you want to be delving.
There's like Treasured Find, Seek the Horizon. There's another one I'm trying to think of, but I can't think what it is. But basically this effect we see quite a lot. It feeds Delve. It possibly gives you a creature or a land card. into your hand.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's nothing special, but you do get to dig 5, which is quite decent.
Yeah. So, a mythic.
See the Unwritten. 4 and 2 green. Sorcery. Reveal the top 8 cards, so digs a long way down, of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield and put the rest into your graveyard. So, just without going on to the next bit, it gives you 7 cards for Delve.
Yeah.
Which is
awesome.
Which is ridiculous. And you also get the best creature out of them onto the battlefield.
Whiff, regardless of mana cost.
Can whiff on things like Genesis Hydra, which will be wanting to be playing green.
Yeah.
But if you're not playing Genesis Hydra in a build, which some people don't, this is going to get the biggest thing you want, or the most useful thing you need, and is also going to set up those delves for later on. However, if Ferocious triggers, you get 2 creatures instead of 1, so sort of a tooth and nail sort of effect.
Yes, it's...
See the Unwritten, I think, is pretty damn good.
Yes, I think it's fantastic.
I think thinking about it in terms of delve as well pushes it a bit more, because you are getting 7
or
cards,
6,
7 or 6 cards. It gets even better. I mean, I think no more than a 1 or 2 of.
No.
Because it's just an expensive ability.
But, you could be turning over 2 Terror Stompers for 6 mana.
Oh, yeah, that's great. 2 Terror Stompers, and then also feeding perhaps a removal spell or another delve spell in green. I really like it. I think it probably will see standard play again in mono green decks.
People might shy away from it because it could whiff.
Yes, but so could Genesis Hydra, and that's its play.
And it never does.
And you barely ever does. I mean, we've seen Genesis Hydras recently turning over Elvish Mystics.
Well, this is basically like Gen Hydring for 8.
Yeah.
But it only costs you 6, and a lot of the time you'll be able to get 2 creatures
in
instead
green.
of 1.
Yeah. It's going to be really, really good in limited. Let's put it that way. You're going to probably be getting 2 very good creatures out, because there's a lot of 4 power stuff hanging around, and on turn 6 you probably will have something of 4 or greater power. So in limited, if you open this up in green, then I'd go quite heavy on the green, because it's pretty nice, and I'd say it's a snap pick in draft and try and build around this turning up.
Seek the Horizon gets a reprint, and I much prefer this art to the last one.
The art is very nice indeed.
The art is absolutely fantastic. It's 3 in a green. Search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
This is just simply the fact that we've got clans. You can get 1 of each land.
Yep.
It works well. Whether it will see standard play depending on how.
It didn't last time.
It didn't last time, but this time having to have 3 lands.
Yes, that's
But
true.
then again, we do have the incredible Tri-lands and also the obviously ridiculous fetch lands.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time you're not going to be wanting things like this, but in limited, I think it's quite.
You've got land spaces being taken up by this effect.
I think having 1 of these in a limited deck, just if it shows up when you need land, I think is really good.
Yeah.
So play it if you need that.
I mean, Nissa's Expedition is pretty good and limited for a similar ability.
Yes.
So next we have Smoke Teller, which is.
Ooh, I like this guy.
1 and a green, and it's a 2/2.
He's a bear.
He's a bear, but he has the ability of 1 and a blue, look at target face down creature.
I quite like this.
Yeah.
Just as like a bear with an upside.
Yeah.
Is always good.
It depends how heavy Morph is pushed.
I think that a lot of people will be playing Morph.
I think a lot of people will play Morph in limited, so this is
it's better there than it is in standard, because I don't think Morph's going to make like a huge splash in standard.
No, probably not.
There will be some cards that will, but it won't be like the biggest effect ever, so it probably won't see standard play.
No.
Maybe sideboard, depending on like if Morph goes that extra mile.
If there's like a super duper Morph deck, then sure, this guy can be pretty useful. But there's also the artifact that does a similar thing with another upside. So
and allows you to that's the upside.
Of course.
But I mean, limited wise, this is good because it's a bear and it's got an upside. Let's move on to Sultai Flare.
For 3 and a green, you get a 3/4 with whenever a creature you control with toughness 4 or greater dies, you gain 4 life.
Fine card. A 3/4 for 4 is always playable.
Yep.
In draft and or sealed. And whenever a creature controls with toughness 4 or greater, you get an upside.
Yeah, so people are gonna have to think hard before they start killing your Pelucanos.
Start making trades or things like that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. I think it's pretty good. In fact, not
standard playable.
No, not really splashy enough to do anything beyond limited, but pretty good.
It's pretty decent. Let's go on to Timur Charger.
So it's 1 and a green for a 3/1, which we've seen before. But this one has Morph. It's reveal a green card in your hand. And when it's turned face up, target creature gains trample until end of turn.
So later game, you can give something that doesn't have trample.
Yeah.
Or you could give this guy trample and just get through for a little bit extra. But a 3/1 for 2 is fine on its own. Will be played in limited just on the back of that, and has the upside of the morph thing. So it will be decent enough in limited. Standard again. Apologies for the overuse thing, but no.
You know at this point.
Yeah.
So Trail of Mystery is 1 and a green for an enchantment.
I really hope someone builds a morph deck around
I
this
love
thing.
the art. I love the way that they've gone for like this is what morph creatures look like. And
just like a huge massive energy.
Yeah.
And then suddenly just something bursts out of it.
But
We can see it on the Timur charge.
yeah, it's on quite a few cards. This sort of like motif. But
Yeah.
So whenever a face down creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. And when a permanent you control is turned face up, if it's a creature, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Now,
It's pretty good.
if you're going to build a morph deck, this is going to be the cornerstone of it.
It is.
This is absolutely fantastic. It means it keeps your hand fresh. Keeps your hand fresh with land, and pumps everything that you turn over.
Yeah.
Like every morph card, and there are quite a few morph cards that have got awesome upsides.
Yes, there
all
are.
of a sudden have just got an extra one for only 2 mana. I love how most of the enchantments in this set are real. The global enchantments are all like quite low costed.
Yeah, I quite like as well, looking just straight away back at Timur charge, and this works really well with what you were saying about upsides.
Yeah.
Having this guy flip over, getting 2/2 and giving itself trample.
Yeah.
Making a 5/3 trample is a lot better than having a 3/1 trample.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Trail of Mystery, if you can draft around it, maybe go for it.
I think Trail of Mystery kind of enables a possible morph deck as well.
It certainly does. I mean, probably won't see top tier, but
Oh, no,
I want to see F&M decks with this. Do you know what? And this is what I always say to Alex, and we say this all the time together anyway, is that we don't mind losing to a deck if it's creative and fun.
Oh, no,
That's the sort of
absolutely.
deck I would be like,
I'd
fair play.
really enjoy playing against a deck that
Yeah.
was just like wholly morph.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's good. We'll have to see about standard play, but I think F&M someone will make it, and it could be one of us. Who knows?
So Tusked Colossodon is a 6 mana 6/5 big fat fatty, but that's about it.
This is the thing you want to be given trample.
yeah, oh yeah, oh baby.
But it's going to be played. It's a 6/5.
Yeah.
I mean, Crawlworm was a 6/4 for the same cost, and that saw limited play all the time. It's a classic limited creature.
Big vanilla fatties.
Makes it there.
Tuskguard Captain is 2 and a green for a 2/3 with Outlast. Its Outlast cost is a green. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. I don't know.
No, I'm
No.
not sure. I'm not sure about any of these really, apart from the.
I think if we go back and listen to all these, like every time we get to an Outlast creature, we're just like,
But yeah, but the ability's not great. I mean, I know there are other ways to put 1/1 counters on things.
There are some of the Outlast cards that are like the one that gives Death Touch and the one that gives First Strike.
I think this one's okay with if it's in green with the cone of counters.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
put like 3
yeah,
counters on
yeah.
something and get it trampled. So it's
guess.
okay, but I mean, most of the time it's just gonna be like having a trample itself and being tapped.
But a lot of the stuff in mono green that needs trample already has it, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not limited, it probably will make it, but standard, no way. No way.
So Windstorm, I think this is probably a reprint.
Yes, it is.
It's X and a green. Windstorm deals X damage to each creature with flying.
Sideboard for green in standard.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
It's green has
I've been waiting for this card,
Well, green has Plummet, obviously, already,
but this is a better version.
yeah, green has a really hard time dealing with flyers, obviously.
Unless they're playing Hornet Queen, you're pretty much struggling.
That's true.
So Windstorm Limited is going to be great for green decks. Standard, probably sideboard play, at least at F&M level.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all we've got to say about Windstorm. With all the mana that flies around in the mono green deck, it's not a problem
You
to
can absolutely wipe
just
flyers.
annihilate. So Woolly Loxodon is 5 and 2 green. I'm glad to see Loxodon making
Yeah,
a bit
you
of a
like
return.
your Luxodons.
Yeah. 5 and 2 green for a 6/7 morph creature. Its morph's cost is 6, 5 and a green.
See, I think this is okay. I think this is pretty good because you're going to be getting a 6/7 on turn 6.
Yeah, this is one of the better morph.
Just vanilla morphs.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this guy's good, and we're going to end on this guy now for the greens, and I think you're going to be wanting to play this in limited because it is a fairly decent.
6/7's pretty badass.
It is. It's a badass big creature, and I think
just thinking about it, looking back, there's an awful lot of like odd bodies in this set.
there are.
Like a 2/9,
Yeah.
or like a 5/8,
Yeah.
a 6/7. Like
You don't see it often.
No, kind of weird, but I like it.
Yeah.
So that's green. I mean, very much what you'd expect from green. It's big effects, lots of mana, big creatures, just good times. I'm really looking forward to seeing how some of this stuff performs. But thanks very much for listening again, guys, and thanks for listening to the whole thing so far.
Yeah.
give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever. We love hearing from you, and
all the good stuff. You know what to do.
we'll see you when we'll see you again when we get onto the gold cards.
Yeah, that's going to be the final video, guys, of this set of videos looking at the cards of Tarkir full set review. We're going to be looking at the multicolours, the lands, and the artifacts. So we'll see you next time.
Awesome, guys. Bye bye.